Everybody pop on in. I haven't done a live in a few days, man. I have not done a live in a few days, but I'm here. What's going on with y'all, family? Hop on in. Everybody hop on in here. Let me know what's on your mind. Everybody hop on in, man. I hope you guys are doing great. It's been a few days, man. I haven't been on live in a minute. It's only been a few days, but it feels longer when I'm not on here with you guys chopping it up, man. Welcome, everybody. Everybody come on in the room. I hope everybody had a great week. This is the end of the week. I hope you guys are going to have a very prosperous weekend. I'm wishing you good energy. I'm in a very good mood, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in a great mood right now. I'm in such a great mood. I gave two homeless Mexicans $40. They asked me for some change. I gave both of them a $20 bill. They were sitting on the ground in front of the fish place, and they looked like they couldn't move. I gave them that $20. They jumped their asses up and ran in the liquor store so fast. I'm glad to give you whatever blessing you gonna get out that store. But listen, I'm in a good mood today, family, because we closed and we are now officially owning the building for the Hidden History Museum. I showed what the museum building looks like in the inside. People loved it, and I have to thank everybody who contributed to the acquisition of this building for the museum, man. I want to send a real heartfelt thanks. And this makes me so proud to show that we can get stuff done on a grassroots level. All we have to do is put our mind to it, man. This is a grassroots thing, and the building is great, man. We got a great deal on this building. The building is on Jefferson. It's between Crenshaw and Arlington. The area is great. We wanted it on Crenshaw. Crenshaw right now, all my LA people know, Crenshaw is a mess right now with gentrification, with construction. I was down there today, and just the traffic was janky. The streets all busted up. So, we got it in a good spot. By the way, where are my LA people? Where are those brothers who would sell barbecue on the streets? I've been looking for those brothers. There's some brothers, you could drive down Crenshaw, you see some folks with the barbecue grill chilling. There was one on Crenshaw and Jefferson, another one, I want to say on Exposition. Did they run them brothers off? Because I've been looking for those brothers for the past few days. I've been going down there. I used to see brothers and sisters out there grilling barbecue, selling barbecue right there on Crenshaw, right off in the cut. I don't see them no more. But nevertheless, we got the spot on Jefferson, real good spot. Now, we're right down the street from USC, and if you go further on down Jefferson, you'll run into some of the other big LA City museums. So I think this spot is going to be a very good tourist attraction because there's already museums farther down Jefferson going towards the 110. So it'll be a great tourist spot because we need that. We need a tourist spot in our neighborhoods out here. We don't have a tourist attraction. We have people afraid to come down to the area. We don't need that. Especially with all of the stuff going on. We don't need people afraid to come down to certain parts of LA, particularly the so-called black part, which is not as black as it used to be because there's a lot of other groups out there. But we got the spot, man. It's beautiful inside. We don't have to do too much construction, which was great because the spots we were going to get on Crenshaw, there was a lot of construction that was going to be needed. This one, we don't need a lot of construction at all. Everything is working right. And we got it in less than a year. Well, about a year. About a year. We got it. It took us a year to get it. So we got that in great time. The ceilings are great. The lighting is great. The heat's great. The sewage and the plumbing and all of that stuff is great. We're going to do a mural on the outside wall. All my LA people, if you know some brothers and sisters who are muralists, who can do murals, please, please, please give me their number. Give me their information. For my LA people, if you know muralists, people who can paint those murals, if they live in LA, now look, I know there's a bunch of you around the country, please, I can't really do anything if you're out of state. We want somebody here. Please, please, please have them hit me up. I want to get them to work Monday. I'm dead ass serious. If you got a muralist out here in LA, I want to put them to work Monday. We want to get started Monday or as soon as we can. Please let me know who you know and let's make that happen. Um, but like I said, the building, there's little cosmetic things here and there, but everything is pretty much in order. I'm going to get something done to the floor. I want to get the floor kind of taken care of. It's not messed up. I just want the floor to look different. I just have a different vision for the flooring in there. But other than that, it's a great spot. So we're going to go around getting all the artifacts and doing all the curation we need. So it's a great spot. And again, I'm proud of everybody for being a part of it. There's a lot of stuff I want to get into right now. We got a lot of folks in here now. So right now, the hashtag boycott woman king is trending right now. That's the new movie with Viola Davis talking about the Amazon women warriors of Dahomey. She plays a semi-fictional character. I think it's based on a real character, but the name is different. I forgot it, Nasheed or something like that. But that character is fictional. But there is a person by John Boyega. He's playing King Gazi, who's real. Now, King Gazi is real. That was a real dude. So there's a lot of mixed views on this thing, especially from the awakened brothers and sisters. Now, I like Viola Davis. I like to see her get roles where she's the star, she's the headliner. I'm a big fan of Viola Davis. I want to see her shine. I want to see her get as many roles as possible. I like to see as many black actors get work as possible. I like for black stories to be told. I like for black actors to be supported. But I don't want to mix in the need of us to have proper black representation, especially from actors or actresses that we like, mixed in with a story that's some bullshit. What they're trying to do with this Dahomey thing, they're trying to paint it as some kind of black girl magic story. And family, do you know the history of the kingdom of Dahomey? That is not no black girl magic story. You understand? We got to be very realistic. I don't want to glorify that. They're not to be glorified. And you better understand when the white supremacists want to fund something, when you say, hey, we want black representation, they're like, okay, we'll give it to you. You better watch that. See, this is why we have to represent ourselves. Just like when we said we want a black museum in LA, so we let the city fund it, they fund the museum, and you go in there and there's a dude in there with a thong on, which is what I saw. I went to the so-called Black History Museum in LA, the one that city funded. There's a big fat dude and a goddamn thong in there. So that was the art. That was the representation. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, they'll give you some black representation, all right. I heard there was a BET had a Twitter space earlier. I didn't hear it, but I'm hearing about it. I heard it was a bunch of rainbow talk in there. They were trying to prioritize sexuality and stuff like that. They were trying to prioritize gender issues. This is what I'm hearing. I didn't even listen to it, but this is what people were telling me. Raise your hand if any of you sat in that BET conversation. I can just imagine what they were talking about. But the thing is, man, the kingdom of Dahomey, that's not something that we need to glorify. Do y'all know how coonified they were? Those were some of the original OG coons. I'm talking about on a massive scale. Now, there were African kingdoms participating in the slave trade, going all the way to East Africa. You had Okun as Tipu Tip over there in Zanzibar. He was a dark skin. He was Arab and African, major slave trader. So you had a lot of different African kingdoms over there participating in the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. But Dahomey took it to a whole level. They took it to a whole different level. Shit, the British damn near had to stop them from getting down in it. with it. They were so deep and so heavy and so brutal with it against other black people. They were horrible. The people of Dahomey, they were rounding black folks up, other black people up, and brutalizing them. They were beheading people for no reason. They were extremely brutal. And their whole economy was based on selling other black people to the Europeans. That's all their economy was based on. They had other products, palm oil and other stuff they could have made riches from. They were like, no, 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 no. We're going to sell some of these folks. They had every opportunity to make money doing other things. They chose to participate in the slave trade with the white supremacists. They thought that they had some kind of camaraderie with the white supremacists. They were brutal. They would get people and chop off their lower jaw, and they're running around with no jaw, screaming with no jaw. They were brutal. Brutal people. And even in this movie, I saw like little clips here and there. And what was interesting, they had the women all masculine. And I saw one clip where they had the men, one of the men, kind of switching around, acting real feminine. So the men are feminine and the women are masculine. That's why they call it the woman king. What the hell is a woman king? Listen to that. A woman king. You see? See, Hollywood will fund that. They'll fund some gender confusion. Y'all better understand this is part of the gender confusion thing. We're going to switch the genders, erase the genders, make the genders interchangeable. You see? Stuff that don't make no sense. But going to the Dahomey Kingdom, boy, those tribes were mass executing other black people for no reason because they brought so many down to Dahomey from all different parts of Africa. And the white supremacists from Europe would come in about once a month to buy shiploads of people, which the Dahomey Kingdom was ready and willing to sell. And sometimes before the Europeans would show up, there would be so many black people that they captured, the food supply would run low. So what they would do, they would do this ritualistic mass killing of just scores of other black people just for the hell of it. I don't really want to glorify that. These people were knee deep in the slave trade, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell y'all how cold they were. I put this tweet up earlier. Let me show you how cold they were. And they knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew what the hell they was doing was wrong. Let me put this up on the Jumbotron because I tweeted this earlier. And I'm going to put it on the Jumbotron, family, from some book sources. Hold on. Let me put this up real quick right here. Okay, I put this in the Jumbotron. One thing they would do when they were about to sell a large group of black folks to the white supremacists, they would perform these magic rituals. They would get the black people and have them walk around something called the Tree of Forgetfulness. Okay, this was a ritual that they did. And this was supposed to erase their ancestral memories so that the enslaved black people would be a clean slate and a blank canvas for the white supremacist slave owners. They thought, okay, walking around this tree, this will help you erase your memory so that your spirit doesn't come back to get revenge on us. I want y'all to Google this too, just to let you know how real this is. It's called the Tree of Forgetfulness. So they knew if the spirit, because they knew this was wrong. They knew this was some evil shit, what they were doing. They knew better, especially as black people, they knew better, mimicking the Europeans. So they knew that was some janky, demonic stuff they were doing, and they knew that there was going to be some ancestral retribution. They understand spirits. They knew that there was going to be a repentance of that. They knew that the karma was going to hit them. So what they were trying to do was magically erase the karma, and it didn't work. They got hit with the karma anyway. They too later on got colonized. Dealing with the same people who they were selling us to, they came back and colonized their asses. Now look at what they're doing over there. It's a mess. And now we're getting our memories back. You understand? Them rituals didn't work like they thought they worked. It worked for a long time. Now, we did forget a lot of stuff, but now we're waking up, which is what they don't like. This is why when we're acknowledging our lineage and we're waking up to some of the atrocities some of these so-called allies and brothers have committed against us, see, that's us being awakened. This is why they fight so hard against it. Look at the museum, for example. With the museum, the whole premise was about telling our true history with emphasis on FBA history. And look at who we were getting pushback from. Who was pushing back from the museum? A lot of these non-FBA tethers who come from these places where they were brutalizing some of our ancestors because they don't want us talking among ourselves, getting this history straight. That's where the whole joke, where's that museum nigga? Because they were hating on it. They didn't want us to get this museum. We got it. So now you're gonna see some more hate. They got to change the bad faith narrative. They're gonna change the narrative. But yeah, they really don't like that. Because now we're going to get this history straight. We're going to find out and explain who's with us and who's not with us. And historically and currently, who have that same vibe. There's a reason why a lot of these folks from certain parts of the diaspora, they have the same mindset against us as they did 300 years ago. That's unfortunate, but that's the reality. They have that same mentality. The problem is they can't physically try that bullshit with us now because they know we'll put all types of FBA hands and feet on them. So they can't do that physically. So there's a lot of them that do little stuff with the white supremacists to undermine us. Not all of you, and I'm not beating up on everybody, but I'm just giving an example of these type of movies that they put out where they try to rewrite history and try to create black girl magic. No, no, no. We have to tell the truth about what happened, and we can't celebrate people who went out of their way to wipe us off the goddamn planet. These folks left us for dead, dude. Them folks knew exactly what they were doing when they were helping them white supremacists gather some of our ancestors up. They knew what they were doing and they knew how evil it was, but they were like, hey, we getting ours. And that type of mentality is a detriment. Let me get the family to chime in. How many people we got in here? Oh, we in here heavy. Let's get brother Dominique in here. Let's get Dominique. Hop on, brother. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Sorry, my bad. The delay was bad. I probably couldn't hear you. But no, I wanted to say this, man. I wish people, that there's most people that I talk to that about like stuff about consciousness and just in general. A lot of them don't even want to learn about their history, and they just have willful ignorance. And when it comes to this movie in particular, people just want to run with it. They're scared to know the actual truth, and they don't want to listen to people like T. Hassan Johnson, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, who breaks all of this down. He broke that whole
Mm-hmm.
movie down on YouTube, and I think people should go check that out. It's really dope. But I appreciate it too.
Yeah, much respect, brother. I got to get my sister Wani on here because Wani has spoken about some of this stuff, and this sister's so very thorough. Hop on, Sister Wani.
Hey Tariq,
Hey, beloved.
congratulations on the
Thank
museum. It looks beautiful.
thank you so much, dear. I'm going to have something in there about you, ma'am, about
Oh
your
no,
travels. Yes, I am. I'm going to have something
thank
in there about
you.
you. Yes, indeed.
That's sweet.
Sister, can you speak on the Dahomey Amazon people and what their get down was, beloved?
Well, one of the things that has kept us disoriented is that we keep being shoved into African culture when it is opposed to us. And that's
Yeah,
one of the things that we have to straighten up. We can't just be living in a fantasy, embracing Mansa Musa and Tipu Tip and all these people that would have sold us. So
yeah,
they too are one of the ones, and I think that we want to embrace African culture, but when we look deeper into it, it gets a little bit tricky. And again, I'm focused on our history, which is legendary, and our culture, and I don't need to look outside of that anymore.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, beloved. That's Sister Wani. All right, let's get well, we got a lot of folks in. Let's get Bruce in here. Let's get brother Bruce. Let's get Bruce in. And y'all other people, raise your hand if you want to get on. What's up, Linus? Let me get Linus in after Bruce. What's up,
Yeah,
Bruce?
what's up? I've been seeing that a lot of people try to, say that, we since we came from West Africa, that we're just the same as like Nigeria and West Africa today. There were many tribes in West Africa, so we are not the same. And I would like to hear people talk about that. It was multiple tribes in West Africa. We are not all the same group that was in West Africa. Like it was multiple tribes in West Africa.
That's true. That's a very good. Thank you, brother. That's a very good point, and we have to understand because even Phil. I was talking to Phil Valentine one time, and I think he spoke about this in one of my movies. Like we migrated from all over the place. I'm talking about as far as Kemet. We were coming in, and they sold or captured the strangers first. You understand? The first person you're going to sell is a person who's a stranger, a person who's not from your particular nation. So we all know they were getting black people from all parts of Africa. We weren't all just from no damn West Africa. That's absolutely true. Understand, there were wars going on in East Africa that would push people further into the interior. There were wars going on in North Africa that would push people further down into Africa. There were wars in South Africa that was pushing people up. So people were moving all around Africa. Africa's not a stagnant place where people are just blocked off. So yeah, we were coming from all over the place and then led to some of those coasts. Let's get Lioness in here. Sister Jade.
Blessings. Yes, Brother Tariq, congratulations and thank you for securing that museum for us. I tell people all
Yes,
the
ma'am.
time, when you put your name on something and you say you're going to do X, you actually deliver, and you deliver in excellence from the smallest thing to everything. And so to come across
Yes,
someone like you who has that level of integrity is remarkable. I want to make just one quick comment about African studies and Black studies. We know that during
ma'am.
the 60s and 70s, Black studies departments were heavily surveilled by the US government. And then there was a
Yes.
concerted effort to phase out Black studies and replace it with Africana studies, right? Like a Pan-Africanist level of study. So it really, really started to erase the foundational Black American history and our culture and our lineage from that discipline within academia. And then you have more and more African studies departments nationally that have delineated from Black studies and African American studies, so much so that at the PhD level you find more PhD programs in African studies than African American studies or / Black studies. So I wanted to name that as a former Black studies, African American studies major at Temple University. There was always already a concerted effort to tell the history of Africa from the African perspective and less foundational history. So I just wanted to name that and
Right.
thank you.
Right. Thank you, dear. And yeah, and you know what? And what's interesting, they start having these African American studies and Africana studies or whatever, and then all of a sudden we start getting teachers and professors like the lady Uju or whatever her name is over there in Pennsylvania at Carnegie Mellon. We start getting those types of teachers in who's coming over here trying to teach foundational Black Americans about African and African American history, but we are Akatas though. They view us as Akatas. You sitting up on Twitter calling us a goddamn Akata, but you're the teacher. You're going to tell us about history that we need. You see, it's a trick bag. What's up, brother Chris? Hop on, sir.
Tariq, what's good with you, brother?
I'm good.
Congratulations.
How are you?
I'm good, man. Congratulations on securing the spot for the museum, man. That's a big, big win. It's a good look, man. So
Thank you
congratulations.
so much. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Real quick, because the game is getting good, so I ain't gonna hold everybody up. But I'm fine just doing the researches, man, and being a part of the industry, man. The bad part about this coin, this a dual-sided coin, they're going to want us to come out to support this film because it's a Black-led film. But I
Right.
always tell people, man, you have to look at the producers and the writers on these productions. The writers and the producers on these productions, unfortunately, are white. So
Yeah.
the problem with that is going to be they're going to keep on allowing their version of our story to be told as long as they're backing it and getting the funding. But the moment you get an all Black producing team, writing team, and all that, the narrative is going to be, oh, this isn't going to sell and make our money back, so we can't put it out there because obviously they don't want our narrative put out there.
Real talk. All right, thank you so much, brother. Very good point. And another thing that I see that people are doing now, some of these shills, because people are calling out the movie for, hey, this historically, these Dahomey people, they're not people that we need to really glorify. So what they're doing now, some of the white liberals got some of their plantation flunkies. They're trying to flip the narrative, talking about, oh, y'all just don't want to see strong black women. This is a bunch of misogynoir. Y'all just don't like to see no black girl magic. Here they go with that Kamala Harris jive. I've been seeing a lot of that now that people are questioning the historical inaccuracy and how they're glorifying slave traders, people who were just as brutal as the white supremacists. No, it ain't really that. Y'all don't want to see the sisters glow up because you are a hating black man. Stop it. That's the con game that they're trying to run on us now. And we're not going for. We're not going to let them punk us out with those jive talking points. We're not going to let that happen. And Sister Jade brought up something else that reminded me of something when she was talking about how Pan-African studies started to get really pushed in academia. Did y'all see the story? I posted up a link the other day about Stokely Carmichael. The UK government, they were creating the United Kingdom's version of the FBI. They were doing the same tactics as J. Edgar Hoover. And some uncovered documents found that they were doing this with Stokely Carmichael. What they would do, they would create fake Pan-Africanist organizations. The white government, the white UK government, would create these dummy groups with some real Africanized names, some kind of West African freedom fighters, something like that. But it was all controlled by the white supremacists. And they would get these groups and have them do propaganda smear pieces against Stokely Carmichael so that he would not have a good reputation in Africa. He was trying to, link black people here and in the Caribbean and in Africa, trying to link them up. So they were trying to use that to smear him. They were trying to use these propaganda tactics. So there was a whole bunch of different fake Pan-Africanist organizations that was created by the government that popped out of nowhere, that was putting out a lot of disinformation. Now, what does that sound like? Doesn't that sound familiar? Now, they were doing that too here in the U.S. Karanga, Ron Karanga, people for years have been saying this guy's been FBI affiliated. So all of these black organizations will pop up and their sole purpose is to argue and bicker with other black organizations. You see, that's government control right there. And you get these so-called black organizations that pop up out of nowhere and they're talking real radical. And basically they get members in so that they can get intel on the members. The NAACP was like that, for example. The purpose of the NAACP, to be honest, and a lot of folks don't know, the NAACP was started by white people. And you had Spingard, who was one of the white heads of the NAACP. He was working with the United States government with getting dossiers on black people who were members. So black people who would join, his ass would sit up here and turn the membership list in to the damn government, tracking everybody's details. Yeah, you better look that up. And they still give the Spingard Award. They still give awards based on that guy who was up here turning people's names into the government. So look at certain so-called radical black organizations. Remember the Not Effing Around crew? And I told people all of that yelling and screaming they're doing, boy, this is some FBI, COINTELPRO. These are ops. Y'all better not go for that. It's too obvious. And sure enough, certain members who got into some real situations, like our brother Ozone down there in Florida, he got into a situation with the police and went and hid out at one of the group members' homes and they turned him in. That's the purpose of organizations like that, who's pretty much promoted by the government. They sit up here and talk radical and get people to join, so now they know who's who. That organization, the Not Effing Around crew, I've heard some stuff about them where they were getting people's licenses and they were getting people's serial numbers for the guns. I'm like, are you serious? Y'all couldn't smell that? And then they would show up to protest and they would have to turn their IDs in to the man. I'm like, dude, if y'all got caught up at that organization, dude, you just walk right into that. Let's get some more people in here. We got a lot of folks in here. Let's get Afro Elite in here. Afro Elite. What's up, Afro Elite? And let's get Hassan Beatty next. Afro Elite, what's up, brother?
Nothing much. Congratulations, bro. I know it was hard getting that museum. I know you heard a lot of flack from naysayers and haters, but you still pulled it off. So that's definitely a win for the FBA family right there.
Yes, it is. All day. Thank you so much, brother.
Welcome. I wanted to say about the movie. What I feel like they're doing is they're really trying to push this very masculinized black woman version out there. Like who calls themselves a woman king? There's really a slap in the face
Right.
to black women because white women, Asian women, they don't want to be called king. They wouldn't want to be swapped like that gender confusion swap thing. So I feel
Right.
it's what they're doing is they're making this and they're marketing as quote empowerment for black women, and they do that for confusion. This is all about propaganda and confusion because when little girls
Yes, it
see,
is.
oh, it's a black woman and she's a woman king, maybe I can be a king too. That's their little propaganda that they're planning on doing. And if the movie
Absolutely.
flops, which I believe it will, they will do the whole, well, it was a black woman who led, and that's why it flopped because y'all don't support black women. So you were right for calling that out, too.
Yes,
I think
indeed.
it's deeper than that. I think it's much deeper than that.
Go ahead, Hassan.
Yeah, the reason why I think it's a lot more deeper than that because the white supremacy groups, their main arguments towards us when it comes to reparations is a lot of it been you sold your own kind, right?
Right.
So I think that this movie is kind of a backhanded slap and for them giving information to their own people as well. Like, look,
yes,
their own woman sold them into slavery, so why should we give them this check? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it kind of goes down a lot of layers.
It
know
does,
what I mean?
and I agree with that because on the news on CNN last week, they had a white woman on there talking about how the West African kingdom, and she was talking about the homie, was selling each other, and the British was trying to stop them. That's who she was talking about, and there's a reason she said that right before this movie is coming out. So you're 100% right on that one, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call,
problem, brother.
And family, you got to understand, Brother Afro Lee made a very good point. They have to masculinize the black woman when they show the black woman as a fighter, the woman king. They don't do that with white women. The Wonder Woman movie and Wonder Woman, they have her portraying, the character Wonder Woman portrays is a play on the Dahomey women, the Amazon women, because they had to make the white women a mythological version of the Dahomey women. So the Wonder Woman character comes from a group of Amazon women, and they got all of these powers. They don't show Wonder Woman, that character, as masculine. She's a strong, powerful woman, but she's still feminine. Notice white women characters who are supposed to be warriors and fighters, they always show them feminine still. They don't show them as studs or whatever. They don't show them as masculine. They always show them as feminine. Remember the show Xena Warrior Princess? They showed that white woman as feminine back in the day. Lara Croft, they still show her as feminine. You see? They still show them as feminine. They don't show them as masculine. They don't call them the women king. They try to push that gender confusion onto us. All right. Let's get Juicy Genius in here. What's up, Juicy? Let's get Juicy.
Peace and power to the family. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. I'm in the sauna. First of all, Tariq Nasheed, thank you so much. Congratulations on the securing this space for us. It is a big win for us and the entire community. So thank you, and we'll be waiting patiently because I know there's a lot of development that has to go into completing the fulfillment of that. But I did go see The Woman King, and you're right, Brother Tariq.
Oh, you saw it?
Yes, I did. I went yesterday. It premiered yesterday. I did go see it to write an article for Black News Daily about it. And brother, this is the most misogynist, hyper feminist film that you could ever imagine. Um, uh,
Wow.
Share some grace for Sister Viola, because I don't believe that she was aware of what she was pulled into, because the majority of the cast were Africans from all European, British African actors, South African
Yes.
actresses, and different things like that. There was only a few Black Americans casted for this film. I've never seen a Black man brutalize a woman in that manner. It is a lot of brutality. It's rape. It's deplorable. And it is depicted immediately that the Dahomey army had slaves. In the first scene, they are seen fighting another tribe over slaves to recapture those slaves. So it is definitely
Mm.
portrayed in the film that these women or this army or this tribe was involved in the slave trade. And toward the middle, this is a long film. Toward the middle to the end, they were like, "Oh, we want to kind of get out of the slave trade and just focus on the palm oil selling." Last thing,
Oh, please.
yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Last
Go ahead.
thing, last thing. They, the goal with this film was to definitely try to pull the power out of our Black men. All of the men in this film were emasculated, they were effeminate. Even the king in the film had a male concubine alongside his multiple wives. And you see that early on in the film. And then they had this lonely mulatto who tried to come and save the day because his mom was a Dahomey wife. But I don't want to give the whole, his mother was a descendant of Dahomey and his father was a slave trader. And so he comes back to the island and blah, 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 blah. But the ultimate thing is they're using Black women to perpetuate this war against Black men and Black women. And they're using a real historical situation to portray that on film. So family, just be mindful. The boycott, Woman King, definitely don't boycott Viola. I don't think she was really aware. But I do want to extend a little bit of grace for her because her performance was extraordinary. But the film is horrid. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you so much, beloved. Now, this whole thing about look, a scene where they're talking about, oh, we shouldn't have slaves. They didn't say no shit like that. Family, these folks were selling Black folks all up into the damn 1860s. They only got out of it because they got colonized. Family, do y'all know the last slave to come over here was captured in damn Dahomey? The brother Cujo Lewis down in I think they sent him to Alabama. They sent the very last slave over here, dude. Cujo Lewis. Look up Cujo Lewis. It was them damn Dahomey women who captured him and sent him here. He died in 1935. That was the last slave to come to America. And the slave trade was actually illegal over here. You weren't supposed to do that. It was an illegal slave ship that brought him over here. Yeah, they didn't get out of it. They were forced out of it because they got colonized. Yeah, look up the ship, the Clotilda. There was a ship called the Clotilda that came over from Dahomey. And I don't give the white supremacists a pass because it was the white supremacists who bought them. But them damn Dahomey women captured him and sold him, killed the people in his village and sold him. So yeah, they didn't have a come to Jesus moment. Well, if the white supremacists didn't colonize them, they'd still be selling Black folks. That's how deep they were into it. Let's go. What's your name? Mabaye? Mabaye, turn your microphone on, sir. Oh Lord, it's the white supremacists. Hello, white supremacists. What's going on, man? Can you take the dildo out your mouth? I can't hear you with that in your mouth. Take that out your mouth and talk. Sir, you cannot talk with a strap on in your mouth. You can't do that. I can't understand you, sir. You can do that when you get off the phone. Can you please talk regular, please? Sir, you can't be deep throating a damn thermos. All right. I don't need all of that activity going on here, brother. So let me let you go on about your business. All right. Get your ass out of here. All right. Let's